So Sefer Avodah, just to refresh our memory, reading. I'm just going to actually start by reading his definitions. The Sefer, where is it? Sefer Shvi'i. Echlo bo kol. Echlo bo what? Oh, sorry. Yeah, Shmini. Yeah. Mitzvos shehem b'binyan mikdash. The Korbanos tibor hatamidin. Yeah. So it's the mitzvos that involve the building of the base of mikdash and the regular Korbanos tibor. I don't think that means specifically tamidin, right? That means the regular ones. Yeah. And then Sefer Chi'i is Korbanos hayachid. Yeah. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so let's begin. Sefer Avodah, here we are. Hold on, I gotta scroll all the way down. Okay. Hilchosav Teshav, Zehu Sidran, Hilchos Beis HaBechira, Hilchos Klei Beis HaMikdash. It's weird how he calls it Beis HaBechira in the first section and Klei Beis HaMikdash in the second one, right?
Yeah.
And what's the where does the phrase Beis HaBechira come from? Is it just from Hamakom Asher Yivchar, like, or is there actually a place in Tanakh where it's called Beis HaBechira? I'm not familiar. All right, Hilchos Bias Mikdash. Okay, now he calls it Mikdash.
Yeah, that's weird.
Not Bias Mikdash, but entering the Mikdash. Hilchos Isurim Mizbeach. Now he calls it, no. Hilchos Maaseh Korbanos, Hilchos Taminim Musafim, Hilchos Psuli HaMukdash, and Hilchos Avodas Yom Kippur, and Hilchos Me'ilah. All right, we'll translate those when we get to them. Hilchos Beis HaBechira, the laws of the chosen house. Yesh bichlal an sheish mitzvos, shalosh mitzvos aseh, shalosh mitzvos lo aseh. 3 positive, 3 negative, 6 total. Zeu pratan, livnos mikdash, to build a mikdash. 2, shalo livnos hamizbeach gaz. Yeah.
No, it doesn't say livnos bechira.
Nope. Yeah. Just mikdash, straight up mikdash.
What do you call it? Minyan.
Oh yes, good call. That's 20, right?
Livnos Beis HaBechira.
Yeah.
So then we're also
Mikdash, yeah. Yeah. Okay. 2, shelo livnos hamizbeach gazi. It's not to build a mizbeach. What did we say? Hewn. Yeah. 3, shelo la'alos b'malos alav. Not to ascend on steps onto it. 4.
Is that not to have steps or not to walk on steps?
Did we look at this? I can't remember. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
I'm gonna look at the Sefer Mitzvos.
I can totally see this being a verb form of making steps.
Right. But I seem to recall that there was actually an Isser.
Which means to make stuff.
Right.
I seem to recall there being an actual Los Aseh governing how you walk, though.
Huh.
Like, let me look at the Sefer Mitzvos. What was that?
Strides?
Yeah, strides, right? That's not another mitzvah listed there, is there? Is it? I mean.
No.
All right. What number in the Sefer Mitzvos is this?
Lusa say pay.
Pay. Okay, here we go. So in the Sefer Mitzvos, it says he running me'alos al hamizbeach b'ma'alos kedei shelo yafsia psia gasa al yelech ekev b'tzad godel. Walk heel to toe. Yeah.
What
was it?
I guess there's no like standard structure of striding, but like it's I think a very inefficient way to walk.
Right. I mean that is how the Kohanim walk, though, right? I think. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I think that's why when we take our steps back from Shemona Esrei, we step that way.
I always thought it was because of the menorah.
Heel to toe. What was that?
I thought it was because of the menorah.
What was it because of the menorah?
The steps back that you like take 3 steps back.
The menorah?
Away from the menorah.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with that one.
I don't know. I thought I'd probably go to walk up 3 steps.
Oh, interesting.
I
never thought about it. Yeah, I don't know. I know there are steps. Yeah.
I thought there isn't actually a thing of doing the heel to toe when you fall back for sure.
I think there is also. Yeah.
What was that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know Rabbi Ginsburg is very quick to say things aren't a thing, and he says it's a thing. So.
It's a good indicator. Yeah. I'll have to look at the halachos. I'm trying to remember when I did them. It wasn't so long ago in Aruch HaShulchan. All right, check it out later.
Just like in her, like the distance back that you walk them is not what a distance of 3 longer steps.
No, it's not. Much
It's
shorter.
like a step.
Yeah. All right. What was I looking? Oh yeah. So it's unclear from the Sefer mitzvos, right? Because he says, well, not to ascend on the mizbeach on steps so that you don't take wide steps, but rather you should walk heel to toe. And then he said, then he quotes the psukim, and then he says, "Ukvar hisbaru tsuras hakevesh ve'echus binyano b'shlishi b'midos." And he says that there's a, what do you call it? There's the tsura of the ramp in Maseches Midos, and then he ends off, "V'chol mi shemafsia psia gasa al mizbeach ad shetigale ervaso loke." So that sounds like it's actual Isra on the action, right? And I think they built the ramp in order to like not force you essentially to take like erva revealing steps, you know. I don't know how I could do a heel to toe up steps anyway, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty hard.
Like you have to go like snail.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. That was number 3. Number 4 is Liyira Min HaMikdash.
So I think this categorization is like structures of the Beis Hamikdash, and like the ramp is part of the structure.
That's true. That is true.
That might be also why it's called Beis Hamikdash. It's about like creating the kedusha of the place, like the functioning of the. Well,
How is that more related to?
Oh, because like we can't really call it the Beis Hamikdash until it's like.
Actually-
Oh, I see. You're creating the place that
Yeah.
will become Mekudash
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, I hear. So then, why does the pasuk say, "We lost leave Mikdash"? Ah, yeah.
Determine the end result, not the
Right.
Right. 5 is Lishmor es HaMikdash Saviv, to guard the Mikdash all around. That was the honor guards, right? And then 6 is
That's part of the
right. I mean, I guess insofar as it's part of the Mora HaMikdash, right? That was what he's, or the Kavod HaMikdash. And then 6 is Shelo Lahashbis Shemir HaMikdash, not to cause the guarding the Mikdash to cease. Is that what he said in the Los Hazes? Let's see, Samach Zayin. Shelo Lahashbis Shemir Saviv HaMikdash. Yeah, I guess so. Okay. All right. Next is Hilchos Klei HaMikdash v'Ha'ovdim Bo. Oh, wait, didn't he call it? Oh, see, that is different. I thought it was okay. I thought this was weird when I first read Hilchos Beis Bechir, Hilchos Klei Beis HaMikdash. I never remembered saying Klei Beis HaMikdash before. So does he call it? Does yours also have?
No, it's Klei HaMikdash.
Mine has a spot missing in the ink.
What? Oh my god.
Weird.
Well, no, but it's clay. It's in the
Clay
clay.
Hamikdash. It's Clay Hamikdash.
Yeah. So then I'm not sure what the deal is here. Yeah. So is this a? I got it. You know, let's use the Kafach Shlishi HaMakriv name. Sefer Avodah.
Well, it's so cool to know like whether I have to flip forward or back from where I'm open to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let's here. He calls it.
Yeah, it was Klei HaMikdash.
Yeah, this is also. So I wonder if it is a all a Torah error or if they're relying on some other
This is
thing.
Clay Beis Hamikdash.
Oh, it does say
Oh, yeah.
In the first part.
in the first part. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I was asking.
The same things. Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, weird. But then in the actual,
Clay Hamikdash.
yeah, and I think everywhere else claim Mikdash. I've never seen clay-based Mikdash before. Very weird. All right. Anyway,
But it's not like he's like keeping the same lashon that he had before. Like he was Pekos Beis HaMikdash, and he's like Klei Beis HaMikdash. So that kind of makes sense.
mhm.
But like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hilchos klei hamikdash v'hovdim bo. Okay. The vessels of the mikdash and those who serve in it. Yesh bichlan arba asrei mitzvos sheish mitzvos aseh u'shmona mitzvos los aseh. So there are 14 mitzvos, 6 aseh and 8 los aseh. V'zehu pratan lasos shemen hamishcha, to make the shemen hamishcha, the anointing oil. Shelo lasos kamohu, not to make a duplicate, replicate. 3 shelo lasuch mimenu, not to anoint from it.
I'm just noting about the first one. It was one of the mitzvahs that was completed.
Right. Terminal mitzvah.
Yeah.
Right. Is number 3, I assume that means not to anoint with it in an illicit way, not to never anoint with it, right?
I think it's not in general not allowed to use the show this color for your own purposes. Like
Right, for your own purposes, right? Yeah.
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 There's like very specific circumstances that you use it.
Yeah, or let me just look at paid daled. Yeah, because like I don't know, just yeah, in the minyan mitzvah, shalolasuch b'shem hamishcha zar, right? So at least that's qualifying it somehow, you know. And then the pasuk, he quotes the pasuk, "Shneimar al basar adam lo yisach," on the flesh of man do not anoint it. Yeah, not just straight up don't anoint with it. 4 shalolasus kamaskonas haktoras, not to make. See, interesting. He that's a different lashon than he used for beis. Don't make, you know, something that is in the recipe of the koseres or like in the form of the koseres. First one he just says lasos kamohu. I guess because there's no separate mitzvah to make koseres, right? And by the Shem Mishra he had lasos Shem Mishra, then he could refer to it by the pronoun.
Yeah.
But here he can't. 5 shalo lahaktir al mizbach hazahav chutz min koseres, not to be maktir anything on the mizbach hazahav except for koseres. See, I don't remember that either.
Let's look at it.
Yeah. That's that doesn't make sense either, right?
I think we had the question there, and then we the pasuk says lo sal koseres
Zara, right. Yeah, that makes more sense. It is a weird way to formulate it. Vav lases ha'aron al kasef, to bear the to carry the aron on one's shoulders. 7 shelo yasur habadi mimeno, not to remove the staves from it. 8 sheyavod halevi b'mikdash, the Levi should serve in the mikdash. That's a weird one also.
Yeah, you don't have to call on.
No, right. You have specific tasks. Yeah. Tes shelo yase achad b'melachas chavero b'mikdash, that one person shouldn't do the malacha of his friend in the mikdash. That means kohanim and doing levim's work and vice versa, and even levim doing each other's work, right? Like the guards doing the music and vice versa.
Right.
10 l'kadesh hakohen la'avodah, to sanctify the kohen for avodah. 11 sheyihiu kol hamishmeros shavos b'regalim, that all the watches should be equal on the regalim. Yeah, what was that one?
Like they shall do it together.
I think so, right? That you.
Well, we would all do it together, but
Lios kohanim ovim mimigdash mishmeros uvamuadim ovim ke'achad. Yeah, that they all do it together.
Well, it sounds like the say here is the mishmaros, and the Talmud Vamuadim is the side comment.
Yeah.
But here he's just talking about they all do it.
Yeah, he doesn't even mention the regular mishmaros, right? He takes the mishmaros for granted, and then says that they should all be equal on the regalim. 12 lilbush bigdei kahuna la'avodah.
Well, weren't the mishmaros set up by David?
I don't recall.
I think I recall hearing that.
Right, but even that would not necessarily mean that it's not d'oraisa, right? It would just mean that it was delayed until then. I mean, you certainly couldn't do the mishmaros like when the Torah was given.
Yeah.
Right, you don't have enough kohanim.
Yeah.
Right, so it does have to reach a critical point before they could actually do it. Yeah.
Well, I think maybe you can have a structure where different kohanim do it on different times, and on the regalim you have everyone and not just some. Like maybe it's addressing that. Like
even if it's not specific.
Mishmaros is the practical structure of that.
Right.
But it's really the
division of labor.
Yeah, division of labor and no division.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
By the way, this Liluvish Kuna Lavoda thing. So yesterday's Aruch HaShulchan.
We've done the garments.
There's this weird Rabbeinu Tam that it seems like no one knows what he meant, where like he seems to imply that we don't give Kohanim any sort of kavod when they're not wearing their begadim, and then people ask Rabbeinu Tam like, but like we call them up to the Torah, and then it was like one of these, like he mentions it in passing, and like it was just an unclear statement that Rabbeinu Tam made. Yeah, I did it kind of fast. So I don't really remember it enough. It was just reminding me of this. 13 shelo yikara ha'me'il, that the me'il shouldn't be torn. What was that in the Peches? Shelo yikara ha'me'il. Yeah. Okay. 14 shelo yizach ha'choshen me'al ha'ifod, that the choshen shouldn't be. Didn't we say yizach only appears in that one phrase? It shouldn't move, but it's like it shouldn't be displaced from. Just want to look at this time I actually thought ahead to look at Chabad.org, the English translation, to have it up. Yeah, for the breastplate not to move from the ephod. Yeah, it just says move. Okay, fine. Next is Hilchos Bias HaMikdash, the laws of entering the Mikdash.
Wait, hold on. So there's no isser to destroy the other big day meal? Only the meal?
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why.
The meal is the
Coat, I think? Or sorry, the
tunic, right?
tunic, yeah. How's Chabad translated? Cloak.
Yeah, I know there are certain halachas about it. That it can't be like worn out or old.
Yeah, I bet those are a lot stricter in practice than we realize, because when you were wearing a garment for a long time, it's very easy to like pick at it or like to, whatever, like pull a thread out. And I wonder if that's like, if you're over, if you.
Isn't it to make it worn out or to rip it, or is it it shouldn't be ripped, like to have a ripped one?
I mean, I don't know. I have not looked into the halachas. Where is it again? Was it pei ches? Let me look at here. Pei ches. Ikarea. Oh, it does say. So I'm just going to read the paragraph about the me'il. Hami'il kulot chelas. Okay. V'chutav kulin shem. Okay, he describes it in detail. Okay, I'm going to skip that. And it says hakorea pi hami'il loke. I guess it's the hen, right? Then you get malchus. Shneimar lo yikarea. V'huadin l'chol bigdei kunasha korin derech hashchasa loke. It's derech hashchasa though. So it's like to destroy it, not just like if it snags or something. Unless the huadin only applies, unless the derech hashchasa only applies to the shar bigdei kuna, and any tear is in the me'il. Not sure. Yeah, that's definitely like a sugya that like people don't do, right? You never hear anyone learning. What are you guys learning? Oh yeah, not to tear the PM meal, right?
Actually, in Rambam Bekius share, we learned about the meal.
Well, he's a Kohen, and they're Kohen who learn to make that stuff. They have a vested interest. Kohanim learn sugyas that no one else learns. That's true. Okay, Rindy does the same thing. Hilchos Bias HaMikdash yesh bichalalan chamesh esrei mitzvos, 15 mitzvos. Yeah, that makes sense. So there are 2 mitzvos and 13 los ases. Here they are. So no kohen who is drunk may enter the mikdash. 2, shelo yikanes lo kohen perua rosh. Kohen should not go in with unkempt hair or grown out hair. Gimel shelo yikanes lo kohen perua begadim. A kohen with ripped garments may not go in. So far all kohanim, right? Yeah. Dalash shelo yikanes kohen b'chol es ela heichal. Kohen should not go at all times into the heichal. 5, shelo yete kohen min hamikdash b'shas ha'avodah. He shouldn't leave the mikdash at the time of avodah. 6, shalech tamei min hamikdash, to send out those who are tamei from the mikdash. 7, shelo yikanes tamei lemikdash, that the tamei person should not enter the mikdash. 8, shelo yikanes tamei l'har habayis, he shouldn't go into har habayis. I guess we must have realized that last time, that there's a double whammy there. Yeah. Tess. Yeah. Shelo yishamish tamei, he should not do avodah. I assume yishamish is avodah, right? Or is yishamish different?
What's that say? 75.
Yeah, I'll look it up in the Sefer mitzvos. Okay, there you go. Yeah, shimush is usually avodah. Then shelo yishamish tul yom, right? A mikveh dipper of the day. 11, l'kadesh oved yadav v'raglav, that the oved should sanctify his hands and feet. That means washing them. 12, shelo yikanes bal mum laheichal v'lamizbeach. So this is any bal mum, right? Not just the kohen. Any blemished person should not enter into the sanctuary and to the mizbeach. What does that mean practically?
Oh, I think it's like there's like a zone around it.
Right, I think so also, yeah. Yeah, I think we did that last time.
Yeah.
We tried to look for a map and we didn't succeed in finding the exact zone. Yeah. I do remember the word zone though. That was prominent. Shelo yavod balmum, so the balmum shouldn't do avodah. And then yadal shelo yavod balmum over. That's a temporary mum. He shouldn't do avodah. And 15 shlo yavod zar. Yeah. So let's see here. So I've always had this like latent question of which things could have been included in, like you've got Hilchos Beis Bechira, and then you've got Klei HaMikdash v'Ha'ovdim Bo. I mean, that category itself is a little weird because most of the Kalim are spelled out in Hilchos Beis Bechira because that's the mitzvah of building the Beis Bechira. You know, what mitzvahs in here? So you have the Aron and the Mizbeach, which is how you use the Mizbeach, how you carry the Aron in Klei HaMikdash. I'm just thinking about like what the Klei HaMikdash aspect is of this section.
And what's the Ha'ovim though?
Right, that's like the last mitzvahs that we just read about the. Sorry. What am I saying? We just read Hilchos Beis Hamikdash. Oh, so this is even more confusing. Yeah, I guess my general question is like the distribution of mitzvahs along these three categories. Like what determines that? You know, like v'ha'ovdim bo, I would kind of assume that, say, for example, a Kohen Baal Mum can't do avodah. You know, that would be in Klei HaMikdash v'ha'ovdim bo, but it's in Beis Hamikdash.
Yeah. Let's see if I can recall. I think there's some idea. I'd not be able to express it so well, but that some idea of that if you're entering with no purpose, that's like a violation of the kedusha.
I mean, you see that concept amplified with the with shlo yikanes kohen b'chol eis el hechal. You know, I mean that's a more extreme form of that. But
yeah, so these are forms of entering a kedusha where you have no purpose.
Interesting. Yeah. I still feel like it's unclear division. I feel like you make arguments for a lot of these. Let's say, for example, like putting Yira Min HaMikdash into Beis HaMikdash, you know, like that would not be unreasonable. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have no idea what the structure of Yira HaMikdash is.
Right. I mean, it has to do with
with
how you enter, right? A lot of them have to do with how you enter.
Yeah, like not wearing like a money belt or something.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hilchos Isurim Mizbeach. Prohibited Mizbeach things. Yesh Bichlon Mizbeach contraband. Bichlon Arba Esrei Mitzvos. 14 mitzvos. Arba mitzvos asay. Esrei mitzvos los asay. 4 asay and 10 los asay.
It's interesting to have 4 assays in a thing that has Isser in the name.
Yeah, it's true. V'zehu pratan. Lahakriv kol hakorbanos tamimim. There's one. Okay. I mean, it's weird that is a mitzvah. You would just think it would be an Esser to be makriv and bal mum. Because tamim is just not having a mum.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to do anything extra. You automatically rack up mitzvahs for doing a non-blemished korban.
Yeah, it sounds like a philosophical point that it's like
yeah,
it's like it's not just that it's not blemished, it's like pure.
Yeah, right. 2 shlo lahaktish bal mum lamizbeach, not to sanctify, consecrate it to the mizbeach a bal mum. 3 shlo yeshachit. That's I assume that the bal mum shouldn't be shechted. 4 shlo yizrok damo, not to sprinkle its blood. 5 shlo yaktir chalbo, not to burn its chalev, its fat. 6 shlo yakri bal mum over, that you shouldn't bring a temporarily blemished animal. 7 shlo yakri bal mum afilu b'korbanos hagoyim. Right, I remember talking about that one. Not to offer a blemished and korban even for the korbanos of the goyim. 8 shlo yatil mum b'kachim. It's not to remove it, right? Not to remove a blemish in kachim. Or not to make a mum. Not to make a mum, right? Tzadi Zion. Tzadi Zion. Yeah. It's weird, right? Because like what was the verb just used? Yatil, right? Take or like give or take, right?
It's a consonant.
Yes.
Before this, in the minyan mitzvos, he said, "Shalom lahakir v'almum miyad hagoyim." Like here, but in this list, he said, "Afilu the Korbanos goyim."
You mean why the afilu?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes it sound like it's an extension of the other general category.
Let's say you're monitoring a full moon that's not like a regular full moon. Is that this Isser, or is it like not one of these mocker Issers, or?
Right. Also, if it's a mum over, seemingly you could accept that from the guy.
You mean because he doesn't specify
Yeah.
here and he has specified elsewhere? I guess so.
I mean, you probably just wait for it to be. Yeah.
But I mean, when you run into other isurim of like being like shechting it, or that's not on Mumover, is it? No.
Maybe to me, you won't be able to say that.
Yeah, I guess not. Right. Yeah. I don't know.
It could be a law that is like adding to the category of all movers.
Where are we now? 9. Liftos psule mukdashin, to redeem the things that are puzzle. 10 lahakriv miyom hashmini v'hala. V'kodem zman zeh hua nikra mechusar zman v'ein makrivim also. Whoa. Was he that elaborate in the minyan mitzvos? This is an essay, right? Samech. Leos kol korbanos behema miyom hashmini v'hala. That's all he says there. Here he says that all korbanos should be from the 8th day and on, and before this time it's called mechusar zman, lacking time. V'ein makriv, that's what we all are. V'ein makrivin also, and we don't offer it. Yeah. 11 shlo lahakrit esnan u'machir. Right, that was the harlot's wage and the dog's trade. Yeah. 12 shlo lahaktir se'or udvash, not to offer leaven and honey on the mizbeach. 13 limloach kol korbanos, to salt all korbanos. 14 shlo lahashbis hamelach me'al korbanos, not to cause the melach to cease from upon all the korbanos. Yeah.
I can see like a Tzaduki just like constantly shaking and like,
yeah. I don't know what else it could mean. Hilos maser korbanos yesh bichlal shalosh ve'esrei mitzvos, 23 mitzvos. Esrei mitzvos say shalosh mitzvos los say 10 positive, 13 negative. Zeu pratan lasos ha'ola k'maaseh ha'ksuvim al seder, to do the ola according to the procedure written in order. 2 shalom.
Salting the Korbanos was not part of Maaseh Korbanos.
Right. Yeah. What was it part of? I forgot the section. Oh, Isurim Mizbeach. Yeah, that is weird.
Like as the Isser of a lack of salt.
Yeah. I mean, that whole salt thing is weird. We noted that last time. The bris melach. Right. Like what's with the bris? All right. 2 shalolechol basar ola, not to eat the meat of an ola. Did we have that? I don't remember that. Then Kufim Vav. Yeah, we did. Yeah. Okay, fine. Where are we now? Gimel Seder Chatas.
Well,
that's just the order. You don't have to do anything.
Maybe.
I mean, it might just be shorthand for Lasos Hachatas Kamasa Hal Ksuvim Al Seder.
Maybe.
Like you said by Ola.
It could also be like theoretically you don't have to do the chatas ever.
Yeah,
it's only like
Maaseh Chatas. That's what it says in the
yeah.
I started going through the list with my dad.
Yeah.
So we did like the first like 70 or so.
Oh yeah.
It's just Maaseh Chatas.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. I'm noting in accordance with what we said last time that it's these shalom lachol the Sar Ola is here non-malchos asuros because this is a more
right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Next, that's shelo lechol mibasar chatas hapnimis, not to eat from the meat of an inner chatas. Was that like? I don't know what the implication of that is. Chatas pnimis.
Is that even quicker?
Could be. Yeah, I don't feel like we don't do that often, except I don't know though. Pusha, 5 shlo yavdil b'chatas ha'of. We did this also. That was one we puzzled with. Not to be mavdil in the chatas ha'of. Was that like to go too far?
Right.
To decapitate it or something with your nail? Kuf yud beis. Is shlo yavdil b'chatas ha'of. Umalak es rosho mimul arpo v'lo yavdil. That's the pasuk. Yeah. Okay. 6 Seder Ha'asham. the order of the asham. 7, shli yochlu ha-kohanim basar kodesh kodeshim b'mikdash, that the kohanim should eat the meat of the kodesh kodeshim in the mikdash. 8, shlo yochlim chutz la'azara, to not eat it outside of the azara. Yeah, right. 9, shlo yochel zar mi kodesh kodeshim, so a non-kohen cannot eat from kodesh kodeshim. 10, seder hashlamim. It's also weird that the sidarim are all scattered next to each other, because those are, I always just think of those as like, 4 super types or 4 modes of Korbanos.
I think we're too used to the associated.
Yeah.
Well, it's the seder plus not eating it.
Yeah. This is like drop-down menu style, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't mean menu eating it. 11, shalolechol basar kodshim kalim kodem zrikas damam, not to eat the meat of kodshim kalim before you sprinkle the blood. 12, lasos kol mincha kaseder maaseha ksuvim b'Torah, to do every mincha according to the seder that is written in the Torah. See, now he mentions ksuvim b'Torah again. That's weird. 13, shlo yasim shemen al minchas chote, not to put oil on the minchas chote. Oh, so that's interesting. When you were asking about the minchas sota, right? That one can't have oil or frankincense, and I guess this is similar in that if it's a chote, it can't have oil. I don't know if it's the same reason. I'm assuming there is something like that, though, of like it has to be like a more, basic form of the thing.
Right. It's interesting. I just realized it's interesting that the sota stuff is not here. I guess it could be there, but it could also be here. Right?
Yeah, I mean it's weird because it is. There's no separate mitzvah to do the. To do like minchas kanaos, that's part of the sota procedure,
I see. Okay.
So like, and given from that perspective, it would be weird to count that here because then it would drag in the entire sota institution. Where are we now?
Yeah, because it's more specifically a din of sota.
Yeah. Oh, there's another reason also, because this is Sefer Avodah, and this is only the things that are done.
Well,
the tzibur, the korbanos of the tzibur that are done tamid.
Oh, what about like Kratos and Asham and all?
Yeah, I think this is well, you have lots of of the tzibur, and then I think in Korbanos will go into the particular forms of them. Okay. I think, yeah. Okay, where are we now?
Well, I'm noting that Hilchos Shkegos is in Sefer Korbanos.
Yeah, right. But that makes sense according to what we just said, right? That's where you put the personal chataos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are we at?
We
did the mincha. Yeah, where you daled. Yeah, shlo litin alaha levana. Oh, there you go. Right, not to place levana on. So it is the same thing, right? With the sota, it was also into 2 lososes?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just check.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like we brought that up.
It was oil and frankincense.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
So I guess the sota is not exactly a minchas chote, but it.
I guess it parallels it, right? Yeah. Well, because right. Yeah. It's interesting.
Wait, is it a minchas?
It is, right? Because it's made of barley.
Yes.
Yeah.
So wait, minchas are barley. So
no, minchas are not usually barley. Minchas are grain.
Yeah. So this is a barley.
Hers is a barley one. Yeah, this one. So it's one level lower than this one because I don't think I don't think you do barley for a stam chote.
Right.
Yeah. 15 shlo te'achel minchas kohen, that the minchas kohen should not be eaten. That's te'achel. Okay. 16 shlo te'afe mincha chametz. Oh, you shouldn't bake a mincha as chametz. 17 shiyochlum hakonim shiur menachos. The kohen should eat the remnants of the menachos. 18 shiyavi kol nadarav v'nidvosav b'regel shepagabo rishon. Bring all of your nadarim and nadavos at the first festival you encounter. 19 shlo ya'achar nidrov nidvaso ushar dvarim shu chayav behen. You shouldn't delay your neder and nadava and the other things you're chayav in. 20 lahakrid kol hakorbanos b'beis b'chira. That's an odd placement for that one. All the way at the end, right? You think that'd be like either in Hilchos Beis HaBechira,
right,
or at the top of this list. It's almost like an afterthought.
Also, he's been using throughout this whole thing. He's been using like mikdash. Azara,
yeah, that's true.
Like,
yeah. I feel like there's got to be some unifying theory about when the Rambam uses Beis HaBechira, but not one that we're going to find. 21 lahavi koche chutza la'art leveis HaBechira. Okay, so to bring the koche from chutza la'art to the Beis HaBechira, that's also strange. I think we commented on that last time. 22 shlo lishchot korbanos chutz lazara. Okay. Yeah, right.
Every time he's saying chutz la X, he doesn't say chutz la mikdash.
It is weird. 23 shlo lahakriv korban chutz lazara. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess you could say that those N ones are about like the parameters of mikdash, and that's why it ends off with them. Like, because he does branch outwards to, mikdash and chutz la'aretz and chutz la'azara. Yeah. Okay. Hilos tamidim musafin. Yesh bichalon tisha esrei mitzvos, shimona esrei mitzvos, aseh v'achas mitzvos los aseh. Ooh, what is it going to be? Right, 19 total, 18 positive, 1 negative. Zeu pratan lahakri shnei kavasim b'chol yom olos. That's what we call the tamid. To bring 2 sheep, 2 lambs every day as olos. 2 lahadlik eish al hamizbeach b'chol yom, to light a fire on the mizbeach every day. 3 shalol lachabosa, not to extinguish it. Was it? Oh yeah, you're right. I wasn't paying attention. 4 laharim es hadeshin b'chol yom, to remove the ashes every day. 5 lahaktir koseres b'chol yom, to offer koseres every day. 6 lahadlik neros b'chol yom, to light neros every day. Is that the menorah? Yeah, I think so, right? Not just stam neros. Right. 7 shiakriv kohen gadol mincha b'chol yom. The kohen gadol should bring a mincha every day. V'hi nikras chavitin. That's the mincha chavitin. I bet we did this, but I don't recall it doing it, so I just want to see what it said in the Sefer, in the minyan mitzvos. Shiakriv kohen gadol mincha b'chol yom. Okay, fine. So you just didn't say it's the minchas chavitin. I don't know what chavitin literally means. It has to do with pans.
Oh, waving. I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let me just look it up in the.
That'd be a test. No, it's a test. Sorry.
Let me look it up in the Chabad. What number was that? Mem. In. Wait a minute here. Wait, mem.
Oh, it's Zion in this. In the.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I asked the wrong question. Zion. Yeah. Oh, it doesn't translate it. Cheap. All right. 8 lahosif shnei chavasim olos b'Shabbos. I think we also read that lashon last time, right? To add 2 kavasim olos on Shabbos, because that's like musaf. Tes lasos lechem hapanim, to make lechem hapanim. 10 musaf rosh chadashim. Okay, there you go. So it's just, again, not as a verb, just musaf rosh chadashim. 11 musaf haPesach. 12 lahakriv omer hatanufa. Yeah, this is getting a little strange now, right? When he does lahakriv and when he doesn't even like with the musaf of Shabbos, he doesn't even specify the verb of like being makriv, just lahosif. Yeah, lahakriv omer hatanufa. Then yeah,
it's also weird that it's lahosif for Shabbos and then musaf for Shechadashim.
Right. 12, we did it. 13, lispor kol ish v'ish shiva shavuos miyom hakravas omer, that each and every individual should count 7 weeks from the bringing of the omer. 14, musaf hatzeres. 15, lahavi shtei halechem im hakorbanos habas biglal halechem biyom hatzeres, to bring the shtei halechem with the korbanos that come with it, that come because of the bread on the yom hatzeres. Yeah, that's a weird structured musaf though, right? Because you've got a bunch of korbanos that come along with it, with the bread. 16 musaf Rosh Hashanah, 17 musaf Yom Tzom, 18 musaf Hachag, 19 musaf Shmini Atzeres. Next, Hilchos Psuli HaMukdashin, Yesh Bichlon Shmona Mitzvos, Shnei Mitzvos Aseh V'Sheish Mitzvos Los Aseh, 2 positive, 6 negative, Zeu Pratan, L'Shelo Lechol Kachim Shnifselu V'Shehutol Behem Mum. Yeah, not, so now why was this not in, didn't we have a Isra Achila on a korban that was Bal Mum earlier? There was really nothing about eating?
Well, it was no achila.
Okay, fine. I was imagining it because I'm just really hungry.
Yeah, there's a lot of achila by mass like Korbanos.
Yeah. Okay, so this was not to eat kachim that became possible and that had a mum put in them. So it's still other than the mum, I guess it's including. And then just specifying mum. 2, shlo lechol pigul, not to eat pigul.
Which isn't that so? Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I wonder if it's either too lavim or it refers to a specific kind of psul that's not.
Yeah, like do we call it a psul?
It definitely is postal, but I don't know.
Yeah. 3 shelo yosir kachim la'achar zmanim, not to delay them after their time. 4 shelo yochal nosar, not to eat
I don't have that gimel.
Gimel earlier today, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
Oh, that was don't bring the.
That was not to delay your neder and dava. Yeah. 5 shelo yochal kachim shnitmu, not to eat kachim that became tameh. 6 shelo yochal adam shnitma es hakachim, not to eat a human who became tameh. That the person who became tameh should not eat kachim. 7 lisrof hanosar, and to burn the delay the leftover. 8 lisrof hatameh, to burn that which is tameh. Not a person. Yeah. Hilchos Avodah Yom Kippurim. Mitzvos to say achas. V'hi sheyaseh ma'aseh Yom HaKippurim kulan al seder kamosha kasuv b'parshas acharei mos. HaKorbanos v'haviduim v'shiloch ha'sa'ir u'shar ha'avodah. He had to use up all of his letters in Twitter for this one. Yeah. So to do the entire act of Yom Kippurim in its entirety in order as it is written in Parshas Acharei Mos, the sacrifices and the confessions and the sending of the goat and the other avodah, the rest of the avodah.
I think it's noteworthy that some mitzvos are like, there's like 2 words for it.
Yeah.
And this is like a whole parsha.
Yeah.
Right. And it's also it's weird that like you would think every part of the avodah would have its own mitzvah, like do this part. And
yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It is weird. That's all one thing. Yeah. A lot writing on that in terms of like missing one and not doing the mitzvah. I don't know what's ma'akiv and what's not though. Hilchos me'ila, yesh b'chal and shalosh mitzvos, achas mitzvos aseh, u'shtayim mitzvos los aseh. 1 positive, 2 negative, v'zehu pratan. L'shalim ha'mo'el asher chata b'tosefes chomesh v'korban, v'zehu din ha'mo'el. So that the trespasser, right, is that how they say it in our school? Trespass? I don't know. Good word for mo'el, yeah. Yeah, I like defiler better because it's in contrast to like something which is kodesh, you know.
Yeah.
That he should add a 5th to the principle, or a 5th and the korban, and that is the din of the moel. 2 shelo ya la'avod b'kodshim. What does that mean? B'kadashim.
Like you can't work.
Oh, okay. Not to do, okay, I get it. Not to work with, to work the kodshim. 3 shelo lagos kodshim, not to shear them. It's weird that this is in Me'ilah. I mean, I guess it is a misuse of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
It's like the appropriation of
right.
Of the Kodesh thing.
Nimtzu kol mitzvos and chalas b'sefer zeh 130. That's a lot of mitzvos. Mehen sheva v'arba'im mitzvos. That's the most populated category we've had, I think. What was at the end of Kedusha?
70.
Okay.
It's around the 76.
Yeah, this is like significantly more. I wasn't sure if it just felt longer or it actually was. Mehen sheva v'arba'im mitzvos aseh v'sheish v'chamishim mitzvos los aseh. 47 aseh and 56 los aseh. Fairly. Wait, sorry, did I misread that? No, 47 aseh.
This is
and 56. Yeah.
More than a 1/6 of the Torah.
Yeah.
It's like and like as like a sefer, this is not a sefer that we do nowadays.
Yeah.
Like we do.
It's insane how much we're missing. Yeah. All right, let's see how far we can get in Korbanos today. Hilchos of Sheish, v'zehu siduran, Hilchos Korban Pesach, Hilchos Kalgiga, Hilchos Bechoros, Hilchos Shkagos, Hilchos Mechusrei Kapara, Hilchos Truma. Hilchos Korban Pesach, Yesh B'lechal and Sheish Esrei Mitzvos. Arba Mitzvos Aseh, Ushtam Mitzvos Lo Aseh, v'zehu Pratam. So there are 16 mitzvos, 4 Aseh and 12 Los Asehs. 1, Lishchot Pesach B'zmano, to sacrifice the Paschal offering in its time. 2, Shalol Lizboch also al Chametz, not to shecht it over Chametz, meaning while you have Chametz. 3, Shalot Talin Emurav, that you should not let its innards, go overnight. 4, Lishchot Pesach Sheni, to shecht this Pesach Sheni. 5, Lechol Basar HaPesach al Mata Umar B'leil Chamisha Asar. Interesting, he puts that one. Oh, he puts Pesach Sheni before this.
Yeah, also in the minyan he doesn't specify matzah and maror.
In the minyan mitzvos. Oh yeah. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So to eat the meat of the Pesach with matzah and maror on the nights of the 15th. 6, lechol basar Pesach Sheni al matzah maror b'leil chamisha asar lechodesh hasheni. Yeah. To eat the meat of the Pesach Sheni with matzah maror on matzah maror on the night of the 15th of the second month. 7, shelo yochal na mavushal, not to eat it raw or cooked. 8, shelo yotzi mibasar haPesach chutz lechavura, not to bring the meat of the Pesach outside of the group. 9, shelo yochal mimena mushuma, that an apostate shouldn't eat it from it. 10, shelo ya'achil mimena l'toshav l'sachir, that you shouldn't feed it to a. We said this is a non-Jewish, right? Toshav and Sachir. 11, shelo yochal mimenu arel, that an uncircumcised person should not eat from it. 12, shelo yishbor bo etzem, you shouldn't break a bone in it. 13, shelo yishbor etzem bo Pesach Sheni, you shouldn't break a bone in Pesach Sheni. So does that mean the Pesach Sheni doesn't have those other ones of shelo yochal mimenu mushumad or Toshav or Sachir or arel?
Maybe.
Right? Because he listed the shviras etzem for both of them, but not the other one. 14, shelo yashir mimenu laboker, you shouldn't leave it over till morning. 15, so that's Pesach Sheni. Wait, so what's the difference between?
That might be both.
Might be both. So so when he said earlier, where was it? The shelo tallies. Oh, that's in Murav. Oh, then shelo yashir Pesach Sheni laboker. Fine, yeah. So it must be that there's no isser for the Mushumad and RL and stuff for the Pesach Sheni.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would have said it.
Yeah.
15, shelo yashir mi Pesach l'boker. 16, shelo yashir mi basar chagigas arba asar ad yom shlishi. That the chagig of the 14th shouldn't be left over until the third day.
It might be a din of Pesach Sheni that only those who are doing Pesach Sheni can eat it, though. That would be part of the structure of it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because I mean, like a Jew who did Pesach Rishon probably can't eat it either.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's just strange though which ones are allocated to their own thing. Chagiga yesh b'chol sheish mitzvos, 6 mitzvos, arba mitzvos aseh, ushtay mitzvos los aseh, v'zehu pratan. So laharos pnei Hashem, to appear before Hashem, which means to bring the olas re'iyah. Oh, I didn't say there's 6 mitzvos aseh, 6 mitzvos, 4 aseh, and 2 los aseh. So to appear before Hashem, that's the olas re'iyah. 2 lachog B'shlosh regalim, to festivate on the 3 regalim. That's the chagiga. Gimel lismoch regalim, to rejoice in the regalim. That's the shalmei simcha. 4 shlo yibra'e rekam, not to bring an olas re'iyah, not to appear empty-handed. 5 shlo yazov levi milasamcha v'litein lo matnosav b'regalim, not to abandon the Levi from making him rejoice and giving him his gifts on the regalim, on the festivals. 6 lahakil asa'am b'chag hasukos b'motzei shmita. That's an interesting one that is put here. I mean, yes, it's part of the Chag, but he could have put this in Shemitah. He could have put this in, Yom Tov, Shvisas Yom Tov, if you want to, or Sukkah. Interesting one here. Hilchos Bechoros, Yesh V'Chalan Chamesh Mitzvos, 5 mitzvos, Shtei mitzvos aseh, V'Shalosh mitzvos los aseh, V'Zehu Pratan. So there are 3 aseh and 2 los asehs. Laharfish Bechoros, to separate firstborns. 2, Shelo Ye'acha Bechor Tamim Chutz L'Yerushalayim, not that a unblemished firstborn shouldn't be eaten outside of Yerushalayim. 3, shelo yipade ha-bechor, not to redeem the firstborn. 6, lahafrish meiser behema, to separate a tithe of an animal. 5, shelo yigael maser behema, not to redeem the maser of an animal. V'kalalti hamaser im ha-bechor, lefisha hamase shneim echad v'hakasav kalalo imo, shnemar es damam tizro. Whoa, another little justification paragraph there. I included Meiser with Bechor because the action of both of them is one, and the pasuk includes it with it, as it says, their blood you shall sprinkle. Such we have learned Mipia Shmua from Torah Peh, that this is the blood of the Meiser and the blood of the Bechor. I know nothing about this sugya or why that's would or wouldn't be a chiddush. Yeah, okay. Much smaller sections. I think in my mind, Avodah and Korbanos were both just big books filled with mitzvos that I just don't know anything about. Yeah, far fewer mitzvos here. So there are 5 mitzvos aseh. Only mitzvos aseh here. Well, I guess you're not going to have los aseh in Shkog. No. Shiakriv v'yachid korban chatas kavua al shigasa. That an individual brings a set korban chatas for his unintentional violation. 2, shiakriv asham mishlo nodalo im chata o lo chata. That someone brings an asham if he doesn't know whether or not he sinned unintentionally. Ad sheyivadalo, until he knows. Until it's made known to him, v'yavi chatasa, and he brings his chatas. V'zehu nikra asham tallies. This is a contingent asham. 3, shiakriv v'chote asham al averos yuduos, that a sinner brings an asham on known averos. V'zehu hanikra asham vadai. This is a certain asham. 4, shiakriv hachote korban al averos yuduos, that the sinner should bring korban on certain averos, im haya ashir behema, im haya ani of o asir ha'efa. If he's rich, an animal, and if he's poor, then a bird or a tenth of an ephah. V'zehu nikra korban olav yor. This is a variable amount korban. 5, shiakrivu hasanhedrin korban im tau v'horu shlo kahalacha v'achas min hachamuros. That the Sanhedrin should bring a korban if they erred and paskin not in accordance with halacha in one of these stringent sins. Yeah. Stringent? Yeah. These are cars, yeah.
Oh, this is the
Hilchos mechusrei kapara. The laws of that which is lacking kapara. Yesh bichlalan arba mitzvos aseh v'zehu prat. And there are 4 mitzvos aseh. Here are the details. Shetakriv hazava kishetitar korban. When the zava woman, right, becomes tahor, she should bring a korban. 2, shetakriv hayoledes kishetitar korban. So when the pregnant woman becomes, or the woman, I guess, who was pregnant, or the woman who gave birth, right? Not pregnant woman, that's the wrong word. The woman who gave birth, when she becomes tahor, she should bring a korban. 3, shiakriv hazav kishetitar korban. The man, the zav, when he becomes tahor, he should bring a korban. 4, shiakriv mitzora kishiyatar korban. The mitzora, when he becomes tahor, he should bring a korban. The achar shiakrivu korbanosein tigamer taharas. And once they bring their korbanos, then their purification is complete. So it's weird. I mean, I don't know much about this. It's weird. It calls this mechusrei kapara.
Yeah.
You just based on this presentation, we call it mechusrei tahara. You know.
Yeah.
I really don't know much about these, and it's also a weird category, right? It's like that's what it is. It's things that are part of the purification process, but they're individual korbanos.
Right. Yeah. What about like Nazir? Is that not?
Yeah, Nazir's not in here.
Oh, I guess that was in
Nazir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Hilchos Tumura, Yesh Bichlalan, Shalosh mitzvos, there are 3 mitzvos. Achas mitzvos aseh, Ushtai mitzvos los aseh, 1 positive, 2 negative, Zehu Pratan, Shlo Yamir, not to exchange. 2, Shati and Tumura Kodesh im Hamir, that the exchange should be Kodesh if it is exchanged. 3, Shlo Yishane HaKadshim Kedusha LeKedusha, not to switch the Kadshim from one Kedusha to another. Nimsu, Kol mitzvos HaNichlos B'Sefer Tesha Ushloshim, 39, very few. 20 positive and 19 negative.
Wow.
All right, yeah, that was. Yeah, we did.
Almost half of them were from Pesach.
Yeah.
Wow. It struck me that there's 16 mitzvos of Korban Pesach.
Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot.
And it's all about that. It's not like it's printed on other things.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know enough to try to explain an order of these.
Yeah. These like categories, so it did seem like it seemed right.
Good. Rama would be happy to hear you say that. Yeah.
You know, like questions like, oh, why is this not?
Right.
Wait, so how many do we have altogether?
So what was it? 130 plus
39.
Yeah.
142.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference between like 103 and 142 doesn't feel very different. The difference between 0 and 39 really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so Sefer Korbanos is like specific Korbanos where people are bringing at specific ends, as opposed to like the general.
Supposed to the Tzibor one.
Yeah. Okay.
Where would you get like a chatas though? Where's like the Yafet chatas?
That was what we did in Chicago's.
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess the structure of chatas is a communal thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Chatas. That's why I call it like a chatas is like a mode of korbanos. Chatas and asham and shlamim and ola, and those modes could be applied in different ways. And so for the chatas Yom Kippurim is a tzibor one. The chatas for violating Shabbos Peshogig is a individual one. Yeah.
Meaning it's not an individual chiyuv of the procedure of chatas.
Yeah.
It's just that you have to engage the procedure.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we have next is tahara. That's gonna be a doozy. And then nazikin, which was not as bad as we thought when we did it. And kinyan. whatever. You got some interesting ones there, and then Mishpatim Mishoftim. Okay.
Wow, many verbs.
Yep. All right. Stop here.